So apparently Gina Carano was under fire for something she did. Now, I didn't know much about her, so I looked her up. She's a former MMA fighter, for those of you who don't know, that stands for Mixed Martial Arts, and she has a career in movies and television. I haven't seen most of her work, but I personally know her from Deadpool, where she played Angel Dust. And she also stars in The Mandalorian as Cara Dune. So, what could she have done to gain the ire of the internet? The Mandalorian fans want Gina Carano fired for mocking trans people.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I wonder what she did, he said sarcastically, knowing that it's probably nothing, but let's have a look anyway. The Mandalorian star Gina Carano has been accused of mocking trans people after putting the words boop, bop, beep in her Twitter bio in lieu of pronouns. This is where society is at, folks. The actress who portrays Cara Dune in the Disney Plus Star Wars series was asked by fans whether she would add pronouns to her bio to show solidarity with the trans community. The act of adding pronouns has been common among trans and non-binary people in order to avoid being misgendered, while many cisgendered people have also included them to show support for the community. One user tweeted to Carano that her co-star Pedro Pascal had included them, while also accusing her of liking tweets that mock the act of adding pronouns. So because Pedro Pascal chose to do this, she has to do it as well, or else, right? On a side note, is it just me, or would Pedro Pascal make an excellent Gomez Addams? Just throwing it out there. Anyway, she replied by saying, yes, Pedro and I spoke, and he helped me understand why people were putting them in their bios. I didn't know before, but I do now. I won't be putting them in my bio, but good for all you who choose to. I stand against bullying, especially the most vulnerable, and freedom to choose. Seems like a pretty legitimate response to me. And at some point later, Joe Peggs asked her, at Gina Carano, not being coy, why is the hashtag woke world mad at you about? I'm looking at your tweets. Are they mad you called two women in a UFC fight ladies? Fill a brother in. They're mad because I won't put pronouns in my bio to show my support for trans lives. After months of harassing me in every way, I decided to put three very controversial words in my bio. Beep, bop, boop. I'm not against trans lives at all. They need to find less abusive representation. Remember how the media was calling the Star Wars fandom toxic? How they were claiming they bullied Kelly Marie Tran off the internet and so forth and so on? Where are they now when another Star Wars star is being bullied and harassed on Twitter? Could it be that she doesn't share the same worldview as they do, so she's not worthy of defense? Food for thought. Moving on. So someone else said, can you see how some would read that as mocking? I don't think trans people would like all of you trying to force a woman to put something in her bio through harassment and name-calling every day for months, such as racist, transphobe, bitch, weirdo, I hope you die, I hope you lose your career, you're fat, you're ugly. Beep Bop Boop has 0 to do with mocking trans people and 100 to do with exposing the bullying mentality of the mob that has taken over the voices of many genuine causes. I'm starting to like this woman. I want people to know you can take hate with a smile, so boop you for misunderstanding. Hashtag all love, no hate. What a perfectly reasonable statement. And of course, after that, Twitter forgave Gina Carano and gave her a nice big hug and... Oh, who am I kidding? Of course they didn't. They did what the Twitter lynch mob does best. Lit their torches, started screeching, and started going after her livelihood. Because that's what diverse and inclusive people do, right? With, of course, people saying that what she's doing is causing harm.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
And that they want her replaced with a trans woman on The Mandalorian. Saying that she's ignorant and hoping that she gets fired. Even going so far as to asking that her character gets killed off between seasons. Isn't it deliciously ironic how the people who claim to be pro-diversity and inclusivity, trans, women, and gay rights, and anti-bullying turn out to be some of the most toxic, hateful bullies online? And then there's this specimen. Now, I want to make something perfectly clear. TV and movie stars owe you nothing. They don't owe you their time, their attention, or even to an extent their gratitude. You going to see a movie or a TV show with them and you wanting to take a picture doesn't mean that they should give it to you. And this woman decided to take time to pose for you, to smile for you, in what seems to be a very busy convention hall, so you would have a memento of this meeting. And you do this. And of course a few people complied, but thankfully, for the most part, he got exactly what he deserved. And by the way, someone should show this to Gary from Nerdrotic. I'm sure he's gonna love it. And I'm also sure that if Gina Carano takes the time to pose for a picture with him, he's gonna be grateful for it. By the way, you gotta admire Gina Carano's backbone. Someone wrote to her, "Say you're transphobic and move on." And she replied, "You're transphobic and move on." She also shares things like this. I mean, look at this. Only a horrible, hateful bigot would share something like this. Right? Anyway, the conclusion of this story is that Gina Carano has more backbone than the entirety of Hollywood combined. And good for her, because in this day and age, we need more people like that. For what it's worth, I stand with Gina Carano. And I'll see you around. Oh, and for the record, my personal pronouns are Your Majesty and His Majesty. Just saying. Till next time, and beep, bop, boop. Gina Carano is a hero.